You start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all okay and having a fabulous Monday. Welcome to our momentum call. My name's Jess, by the way, if I've not met you before. This is Georgia. So what we basically want to do, firstly, we're going to train you on something that we are so passionate about. It's like our favorite activity. We do it every 3 months. It's the Wheel of Life. If some of you have heard of the Wheel of Life from our trainings before, we're going to go through it today. We think it's such an important time to kind of really hone into the wheel, because the wheel, by the way, is a program that Michael McIntyre has started and I can't get it out of my head. The wheel, like that's a hilarious song. Has anyone seen it? It's brilliant. Very good quiz show.
I don't know if anyone else.
No one's seen it. It's really good. I love it. Lauren's seen it. It's such a good show. So basically, we want to talk about that. However, side point, we discovered something 20 minutes ago, which we wanted to share with you. If you've not got the new update on your iPhone, download it immediately. You can now share screen on FaceTime and play a freaking video. 10 out of 10 to the update on the iPhone. It's wild. So we discovered that before. So make sure you get it, because it's, again, further improvement of the slickness of us sharing stuff. Doesn't always need to be on Zoom now, because you can literally pop on FaceTime, share a video, watch the video with them, and then unshare, although we're still confused with the whole system. But yeah, it's play around and then you'll figure it out. So basically we came across this exercise, I think it was about 5 years ago, wasn't it, when we were at a Tony seminar. If you've kind of heard of the wheel of life, comment in the chat box. If you haven't, obviously we've done a little diagram, we're going to go through it, but it's really, really amazing, and it's really important to kind of master this and get into that sort of reflection of your areas of life. So George, do you want to kind of explain a little bit more and then we'll get it up?
Yeah, so basically we're going to compartmentalize your life into lots of different sections and kind of have a big reflection for 2021, and also reflecting on what you can do in these next 2 weeks to bring up your wheel so that you're not starting on January the 1st. So the best way not to have a New Year's resolution is to kind of start a new habit now. We're going to put all of you individually are going to put 2 new actions or habits in place to change each level. Sorry, a little squeaker. Thank you, Panda. That's enough. So basically, we'll show you the wheel now and then we'll go for it. So this is going to kind of be quite an interactive call. We're not going to be, super formal, just also going to be doing this as well at the same time. And obviously, if you are new on the call, welcome to the team. And if you're watching this recording, welcome. If not, basically, the calls aren't always like this. Sometimes they're really specific on Arbonne, sometimes they're mindset. This is going to be an overall, like a life overall one. So this is a good call to come on if it's like you're new on your Arbonne journey.
Also, I think Panda wants to join in the call, so let him join in. Okay, amazing. So this is basically wheel. So you can kind of do it as you're on the call with us, or you can kind of do your wheel and then fill it in afterwards. So the idea of it is that your life can be compartmentalized into 8 or 10 areas. So obviously, as you can see, you're drawing a nice, lovely wheel. And then you've got the kind of main areas. So relationship is one area. So that's obviously if you're in a relationship, obviously how it is with your partner. Obviously, if you are not in a relationship, do you want to be in a relationship? All of those sorts of things. Are you making it a priority? Family, obviously your family dynamic. Health and fitness, you can split up. So sometimes when I do my wheel, I do it in like 10 sections, and I split health and fitness, and I also split mindset and emotion, but you can do them as one bit if you want to. Social and fun. Obviously, that's like, going out and about, do you make plans or do you stay home, comfortable, all those sorts of things. Career. Obviously, your job, and then you're building Arbonne alongside your job, finances, and then mindset and emotion. So we're going to go into a bit more detail onto each of those sections. But the idea is that you want to grade each of those sections out of 10. 10 being like you're living your absolute best life in that area. And some of you might be living your absolute best life in some of those areas. And I really hope you are. But then the other part of that is that there is obviously one is like worst, tragic, horrendous, like needs some serious action. So the reason why I've just put 2 examples there is like someone might be like, yeah, I'm a 7 in my career, I feel really good, really happy in it at the minute. I feel like, I'm going for a promotion, I'm due to get it, which might mean when you do your wheel in another 3 months, that section goes from a 7 to a 10. You love it. Your Arbonne business is going really well. You can also split your career as well to your career being your job and then your business being the other half of that. I think that's quite a good idea if you do Arbonne alongside a job, because obviously if you're feeling really not good in your business, but you're feeling really good in your career, you're going to rate one of them an 8 and then one of them maybe a 3. So that's kind of the first bit. Oh, hey, Pans, how are you?
Clearly wants to be on me.
Yeah, go on. You were going to say something.
No, yeah, I was going to say, like Jess said, there's obviously going to be one, which if you dramatically change that one, every area of your life will change. So often that could be how you feel about your health and fitness. That might be knocking your confidence with relationships. It might be affecting your family dynamic. It might be making you sad. And then you could be overeating, which is affecting your finances on delivery. So there could be one area that if you home in, it raises them all. So for instance, another example could be if you are sad in your relationship and you're in a toxic relationship, that will impact every single area because you won't be motivated and you'll be feeling flat and down, and that will affect your career and income. Or even finances and business, that can be a massive one. Because I remember at one point a few years ago, I was like, if I increase my business, that'll mean that I can have more quality relationships because I can go, with my friends, I can go out more, I can have more fun, I can get a personal trainer, and I can get meal prep paid for. So I was like, that solves all the problems. So it's basically like, we're going to go through and you're going to rate them, as we said, out of 10, and then give some different examples. And then there's no point of just doing this if you're not going to take actions. This isn't kind of a like, oh, let's do a nice wheel, that was a fun activity, and off we go doing the exact same things that's got me a 3 here in the first place. It's like, why am I a 3? What small actions have got me to this position? So I think sometimes in all areas of life, we feel that basically, it's these big quantum leaps and these big jumps going from, like district to area, and this is happening, or going from earning £100 from Arbonne to like £1,000, whatever it might be. But actually everything is done in the tiny daily disciplines. And I think as soon as you realize that, and you literally are a product of your habits. So in the chat box, everyone write down your best habit that you have, whatever that could be, whatever area it is. What is the best habit that serves you the most? And then what is your worst habit? And imagine, so type that, chat box, get chatty. No one's chatting. So we're going to share these because sometimes, hang on, it's an animal friendly business. I agree it is. Work from home, work from anywhere with your kids. Personal development, very good habit, like that man's. Exercise, skincare routine. Personal development.
Exercise, time management, love that. PD and
so
skincare.
More like specific, what aspects of like habit, like drill down, as in like, is it you wake up and you do an audio while you do makeup? So I've started doing that. Anytime I'm doing my makeup, I've decided I'm going to be learning. So I'll either watch a video or I will, listen to something, or literally audio and dog walk. See, that's a very good specific habit.
Morning
routine
is a good one as well. Someone's just
very good. Audio on school run, audios in car. Worst habit, procrastination. Yeah, so these are great ones. Right, what is everyone's bad habit? Your worst one. Habits, good, hang on. Do makeup, yes. Worst, getting distracted on the phone, yeah. TikTok scrolling. TikTok is a bad
scrolling Instagram, overthinking, doing house stuff, procrastination, and doing what's easy. These are really good. Mine's snacking, by the way. I just put mine in there. Love a snack. Admin fun. Love it.
Admin fun. That sounds like you're making.
That's a dream. That's my dream of it. Being a perfectionist on Insta. That's an interesting one. That is definitely a good bad habit. A bad good habit, if that makes sense. Okay, so love the honesty there. So I think the first thing we'll say on that is like the key to change is awareness. Like if you are aware of that, that's fantastic. And then basically the idea of this wheel is that once you've graded yourself, so when Tony Robbins did the exercise with us a few years ago, he was like, if all your areas are like a 3 or a 4, and this is quote from Tony, not me, you are living a complete mediocre life. And like no one wants to be average and no one wants to be mediocre. So therefore, what gigantic area are you going to change, if that makes sense? And like we said, it doesn't have to be a huge gigantic action to really shift that area from a 3 to an 8, but it does start with awareness of it and then making 2 or 3 action steps with each of those sections. So for example, like we'll give you a couple of examples. So for me, with my health and fitness, that was like a 2 out of 10, say 6 months ago. My fitness is still not quite where I want it to be, but my health is so much better than it kind of was. just in terms of my eating habits, my nutrition and all of that sort of stuff. So when I did this wheel, say 6 months ago, it was a 2 and both areas were a 2. So I was like, what one small action can I do every day to change that? And the first one was an app on my phone, which was like drink water. So that was just a really small one. It like sends you a little notification, drink a glass now, like pathetic, but like great, drink a glass. And then it's like water, really increase that. And then another one, which is a huge one for a lot of your areas, might be accountability. So having to tell someone, or having like, for example, like I got one of those, like Fitbit watches where it like told me every day, like how many steps I was doing or all of those things. So what is it that you can add in that will allow you to be accountable to yourself by getting yourself something? And bearing in mind, when I tell you that I bought this watch, it was like £10 from Amazon. So it wasn't like, you need to invest so much money and buy yourself an Apple Watch or, anything like whatever they're called, woo-woos, which are loads of money. Like that literally cost me a tenner, but it really helped me get on track, albeit I slipped off and now I'm back on it again. But that's okay. Like you can slip off, but it's then just being aware and then getting back on track. So that's what I would say in that section. Go on, sorry.
And also with this, I'm going to do a shameless plug for Robin. I feel like you'll know where this is going. But Robin's recent podcast with a guy called David, if you've not listened to it, go and listen to it. We'll post it on the page. He speaks about something in it where it's like your actions reflect your priorities. So if you actually think about that with every single area of your life, no matter what you think your priorities are, your actions reflect it in anything. So it's really, like we said, having that awareness of looking and being like, where are my true deep-rooted priorities? Like, are they in creating wealth? Are they in changing my circumstance? Are they in changing, my finances, my health, my fitness? Are they in creating meaningful relationships with friends and family? Like, where right now in the next 6 months is your priority? And something will have to change. So I don't like the word sacrifice, but I like the word choice. So for me, in the next 6 months, I massively want to level up my business, and I really want to basically double and triple my income. So I know in order to do that, I'm going to have to make a different choice in terms of with social and fun, because I can't continue with the amount of social fun I'm having, which is great. But obviously something has to change. So it might be that you might have to give up a TV program in order to invest in yourself with personal development, or you might have to give up, a habit of snacking in order to replace it with a protein shake. So it's literally thinking like, where are you right now? And the first thing is like looking at everything you do. And I think sometimes habit, the reason why I wanted to say about this, 90% of your thoughts are the same from the day before, and they're all habit driven. Like they were programmed, as you know, we love this, from when you were kind of 0 to 8, all your thoughts are programmed in around money, around health, fitness, how much you struggle with friends, how much you struggle with men, women, whatever it is, they are all programmed in that early age. And if you don't become aware of them and recognize, the easiest way is to look at your parents or whatever adults were around you when you were growing up, and look at how successful they were in certain areas and see if you struggle with the same area. And if you do, you need to go seriously to work on your subconscious mind, because otherwise it's actually crazy. Like me and Jess are so good. Like we've got the most amazing friendship, just hype that up, got the most amazing friendship, but we both call each other out constantly. And if you don't have that person, it's like you don't see it. Like I've said this before, like I used to go like be open with it, like call myself fat all the time. This is a few years ago. And I had no awareness around that. But that was because I was brought up around this thing around weight, and everything was defined by weight. And I used to, put myself down constantly. We were going on a night out. It wasn't enjoyable getting ready because I'd be like crying, huffing, puffing, like bringing everyone's mood down because no one else cares that I'm half a stone heavier than I want to be. And then Jess was like, you call yourself fat all the time. And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, I'm going to tell you every time you do it. And literally that was like an extreme example. I genuinely had no idea that was happening. And then Jess has it where like she'll get in a fluster over like a non-issue point. I'm like, this is not a point. She's like, oh, but I just feel like I'm overwhelmed with this. And I'm like, where's the point here? And she's like, oh, you're right. This is just, I go to like, overwhelm is my habit. Being overwhelmed and flustered is a habit of a place that I go to emotionally. So it's looking at where are your emotional habits? Like, your emotional habits are huge because they will run you. If you don't run your emotions and you thought, this little guy will run. If you don't run your emotions and your thoughts, they will run you. And if you're not aware of them, they'll run you even more. So I think it's just like, I've listened to a podcast the other day and it was saying like one day someone realized that they used to get grumpy at 8:30 every morning when they started working from home, and they realized that was the time they were on the commute, and their body had associated that time with being on the commute and being road ragey in traffic. So then literally at 8:30, even though there was no commute because it was work from home, they'd be just like a bit grumpy and snappy, and it was because the body was so conditioned with that. So it's literally like, that is how powerful your body and subconscious mind is with habit. So that's the reason why you have to do an analysis. And we're going to whiz through the areas quick, and then you can rate them and then have a think of 2 things that you can change for each area and actually do it. Like, don't wait until January the 1st. Don't be new year, new me, like today, new me today, because think how much more, you know, it might not be perfect. Like, my health and fitness definitely is going to have a hit this week with the social plans I've got. But it is what it is. I'm going to be managing the damage. How great is that, by the way? Loving all the social media still. And, you know, it is what it is. But the trade-off is I'm going to have a really nice time with my friends and relationships, which I've not had for 2 years. And it's actually interesting because this is what Robin's podcast speaks about, but I'd already noticed that. But anyway, right, we'll start with
Robin's podcast. I love it. And also, do you know what is... I know, I'm excited to listen, but that's the other thing as well. And I really want all of you to know, like, the insane value of the training, like this level of training and mindset and all this habitual stuff, like we've learned through the years of Arbonne, like the quality of training that we get is actually exceptional. So like, please know this, like some people will pay $1,000 for like 4 hours of Tony Robbins to get this exercise. We're literally telling you exactly what he's told us. He's had like life-changing results from it. Go and do it. You will see a huge difference in your life. And the idea is that you analyze it every quarter of the year. So you do this now, and then you go back to it on April the 13th, 2022, and you've made that change in these 2 major areas. And before you know it, you're like, God, that is mad, the change that I've had, and now how different all the other areas are. And obviously that's the idea, that every single one of those areas is linked. So actually, when George was giving those examples before, like that's why it's so important, because they all do have an interlinked at some point, like an interlink at some point. So let's just say, like, take your social and fun. So your social and fun is like, do you currently socialize? Are you socializing too much and then your business is taking a hit? Because again, a really good point here is if you're socializing and you're out and about and you're having fun during this Christmas period, but you aren't speaking or making any new friends, your social and fun is actually having no impact whatsoever on your business, but you're probably being around 50% more people that you could utilize and have a chat with about Arbonne. So my biggest tip here is get good at saying the line, I know this is really random and out of the blue, but I'd really love to have a chat with you about what I do alongside XYZ. I think, you'd be amazing. You've got amazing energy. I love your vibe, or I know with everything you were saying, like, just get used to that sentence, because I promise you now, the amount of contacts you can make during this social period is wild. So social and fun is a big one. Or you're sitting at home and you're being a complete hermit, you're doing your whole business on social media and you're then deflated that you're not getting calls in or you're not making any new friends. You're sitting at home, you're not going to meet your nation in your kitchen. So again, like, there's 2 opposite sides to that social and fun. But like George says, if your goal is to be a nation in the next year, you may have to give up a bit of socializing come the new year and knuckle down in some other areas, or just be very aware about what social plans you're going to say yes to, because there's an intention behind it. So when we were both promoting to region, and as of now, what we've discussed we're going to do is just be really tactical about what social arrangements we say yes to, because we know that at that dinner there's going to be someone that we can have that conversation with, or it's someone we spoke to about Arbonne years ago and their sister's really interested in Arbonne, rather than just saying yes to everything. So that's the social kind of aspect. With your career, obviously, again, I think a big one with career is just really looking at, like, are you fully happy in your career, or are you getting comfortable? You're in it, you're like, yeah, it pays the bills. Like, that's not life. Like, just paying the bills and existing in a job. And I'm not saying, guys, go quit your job if you don't enjoy it. That is not my disclaimer. But what I'm saying is, when you do an exercise like this, it really takes into a lot of situations. Like, if you're in a job and it's causing a lot of stress, you may be coming home and feeling really deflated and down and all of those sorts of things, and that has an impact on all areas. So it's like really looking at that. And I think, again, with your business, like, if you're not where you want to be, is that a result of you not doing the work, or is that a result of you doing lots of work and not seeing the results, and therefore you need a tweak and a conversation? Like, every one of these areas is fixable with something. So they're the kind of first 3. Do you want to do the next few?
Which way have you gone there?
I did social, fun, and then career. Then I was going to go finances, mindset. I don't know why I started there.
Right, yeah. So where are your finances at now, and where do you want them to be? And I think the if they are not where you want to be, this is, I think, the biggest thing that we're definitely not taught at school is like financial literacy. Like, become educated in how money works and how you can create investments and how you can get money working for you and the different ways that you can do that. You know, there's so much stuff out there to go and get educated on how to make your money work for you, as opposed to just like spending it. Like, for instance, different apps like Moneybox is a really good app to look at. Plum. Jess basically works for Plum with the promotions. Plum is an amazing app where it just does roundups and takes a little bit a week that you don't even miss, but it is a savings scheme. And there was an audio that I listened to at the beginning called the beginning of network marketing, called The Automatic Millionaire. And he basically said, like, you want to be automatically saving straight away before anything else gets paid, before your bills get paid. You have to pay yourself first, like pay future you first, because otherwise humans have a habit of going to zero. So it's like, do you do that? If you get money, do you burn through it really quickly? Ask yourself, why do you do that? Do you spend above your means on being the person to always get the bill because you feel how it makes you look if you don't? Are you the person who doesn't do that? Like, what are your habits around money and around finances, and kind of look at them and then go to work on those as well. Because learning how to take, David back. And he basically says, like, you have to automate your money. If you pay yourself 10% and then, you know, over years, that's how you can become a millionaire. He calls it the latte factor, where if you don't spend £3.50 a day on a latte, he was like, it literally is costing you from becoming a millionaire. It's a really fascinating book and audio. So look at that. And also different ways that you can, obviously, you know, we say the average millionaire has 7 income streams. Like, not that we're all going to go and find 7 income streams, but like, how can you, even if it's a small thing, what can you do? Like, I know that Jess does market research because it's like, why not? We're time free. Let's go for it. I need to get into market.
Right.
So finances, mindset and emotions. How is your, the latte factor, the one that Sarah just spoke, David Back. So it's called I think it's Automatic Millionaire, but he was saying with network marketing, the benefit of it is say if you earn $1,500 or £1,500 a month, he was like, the average person, if you need to save $300, they can't do that because your lifestyle is up to $1,500 a month. Just say it in dollars because I feel I've memorized it in dollars. $1,500 a month, and then you need to create another 300. Like, Arbonne is a way that you can do that, whereas the average person doesn't want to lower their lifestyle by $300 so that they can save it. It's like, right, I'm already at $1,500. How can I earn $1,800 through Arbonne, sell a few 30 days, sell some fizz sticks, and that 300 can be saved. And that is the difference between being financially free in 5, 10, 15 years from increasing your income, not increasing your lifestyle. And he was saying that's why network marketing is so amazing, because it allows the average person to do that. Without setting up a traditional business, which, as we know, most fail. Not statistically, not my opinion. Mindset and emotion. Where is your mindset at? How much work are you doing on yourself? How do you feel? Like, do you feel happy? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel sad? Do you allow the news to affect you, or do you kind of stay in your own little bubble? Where are you at with those things? And what can you do to change it if you're not? So there's 2 kind of mindsets, which you always want to be in a growth mindset, and a mindset of like moving towards your goal and moving towards an outcome. Basically, if you're not making progress, this is another Tony Robbins quote, you will feel meh. So if you're not progressing in any of these areas, and these areas are all a 4, and they've been a 4 for the whole of 2021, I can guarantee you feel meh. If one of them's amazing and you've like got a new relationship and you're like, oh my God, I've moved forward with this, or I've, started a new business, or I've done this, or I've been, invested in this in Plum, and I've got 2,000 in Plum that I didn't ever think I'd have, you'll feel like you're moving forward. If nothing is moving forward and you are flatlining, you will feel meh. So that is the reason why this is great as well. Do you want a relationship?
I was like, there's another gap, but it was just because I split the mindset and emotion. I love this exercise so much. I think it's wild. So relationship again, and I'm always open with this. I'm happy to share, like me and George did this wheel like a year ago. It was like all my other areas were great, and it was just like avoiding the relationship area. So it's like, if that is a priority for you and you want to make it a priority, what can you do? I got a coach. I literally delved into all this like work with Reiki, which I was absolutely not open to. Found out I was the problem. Really like know that if it's okay, some areas you might need someone externally to help you. And then fast forward now, I'm in a very happy relationship. Congratulations to me. But basically, the reason why I share that is because I was in avoidance before we'd done that wheel. And then George was like, babe, you are literally doing all of these areas and avoiding the one area that you actually want. So why don't we change something and look at how you can change that rather than avoidance mode? So a lot of you right now might be in avoidance mode with one area. And that moves me nicely on to your family. But if you are in a relationship, side point, what you want to do is just look at, like, you know, for example, if you're going for a big goal in Arbonne, have you discussed that with your partner where you're carving out that specific time for them? So I know my sister won't mind me mentioning, but when she was promoting to region, she, you know, had that conversation with her husband and said, listen, I'm going to be unavailable for majority of the nights during the week, but I will absolutely dedicate a Friday evening to you where I do absolutely no calls and I will be off my phone by 6 o'clock. And that is him time and family time. And he respected that for 3 months, that was how it's going to be. But when she was with him, she gave him that undivided attention and then he was really happy. So again, really ask yourself, you know, are you present in your relationships? Did you like do your business while your partner's there, but you're not really with them? Like all of these things, like I know I used to have quite a bad habit with that. Again, can slip in, but have people around me to get me on track, to just being like, babe, you back on your phone again, like leave it in the other room, you know, all those sorts of things are so important because it doesn't make the other person feel very good if you're just sat on your phone, half doing your business, half interested in their conversation. And that links really nicely to the second to last one, which is your family. Same thing, you know, if you have family abroad, do you speak to them and arrange, you know, a call once a week? Like for people who have families, you know, it's so precious, and like just really hold on to that time. And, you know, are you open with your family? Do you have that sort of relationship where if someone's upset you can have that conversation? Obviously, if you don't, you know, the beauty of Arbonne is it allows you to build those relationships and, you know, speaking out and all that sort of stuff. But is there something you could do to change that current situation? Is it taking your niece out once a week or visiting them a bit more? Like there's so many things you can do that then might add, you know, extra happiness or an extra, you know, number to that section. And then the last one is obviously health and fitness, which you can.
Yes. So with health and fitness, are you taking our nutrition products consistently? Hopefully you all are with Manage the Damage now. But before that, you know, before we kind of were like, right, we're all getting on it with, you know, gut health, skin elixir, were you taking every single day the nutrition products? Are you having a protein shake? Are you having the lemon bars out and about? Like, make sure you're using that. We're in a health and wellness business. So you want to at least, you know, use the products, feel the benefits, because then people will start commenting on your skin and like, things like that, because it's very difficult not to. If you do suddenly introduce a load of vitamins and minerals, it will come out in your skin, your hair, everything. Basically, people can tell. That's our width of like weight loss, obviously. So you can split health and fitness into two because they obviously are different. Like getting your heart rate up, make sure you're going on a walk, can you go to a gym, and then obviously health, like where is your nutrition at and what are your habits around health. Yes, they are quite easy to track and there is so much out there on those. And again, Robin's podcast will also help you with that actually, because it's a nutrition guy.
Yeah, so I was going to say that is kind of like all the areas. So the kind of homework for you all that we really wanted you all to do. And obviously, if you kind of know the two areas, actually, I'm just interested, do you kind of know right now your two areas that you want to work on for the next 3 weeks, kind of to end this year in a different place? Like if you do, kind of pop what they are in the chat box. Is it health? Is it finance? Is it career? Is it fitness? What is it? And I think that, okay, one's financial and business, brilliant. So what you then want to do is be like, right, what are my 3 action steps for each of those areas? And those habits are starting today, whether that is, you know, you're getting accountable for your reading every day or you're doing XYZ. Like I said, every single one of those activities can be changed. One of those areas can be changed, and you will honestly see the difference so insanely, like over the next couple of weeks. Like don't underestimate what you can achieve in a very short space of time. As soon as you tweak a habit and you pivot it and you're like raring to go in that direction, before you know it, you've like built up this massive momentum and you're like, oh my God, that area was a 2 and now it's an 8. From one kind of small decision. So Panda, thank you for joining us on the call this evening.
Honestly, he was like snoozing off there.